Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and the guy that won't leave Scott McNeil alone. You have been warned. This is Random Review.
So I decided I had enough fun talking about the deluxe class Studio Series Bumblebee figures. We might as well go larger and talk about the one that everyone seemed to talk about when it was revealed. This is going to be the Voyager class Soundwave, the somewhat controversial choice of vehicle mode, which this was much discussed when first revealed. We're going to talk about it now, and I'm going to give you my take. I can't promise you'll like it, but hey, that's not what you tune in for. Here we go. Now we have what is what apparently a Cybertronian Hovership of some sort. That's about all I can give you on that one. That's about the only description I can have. Yeah, there is no apparent cockpit. Not that there should be, because there are no little humans on Cybertron. Maybe this little semblance of a window up here for a bridge, if you want to imagine that. Maybe this piece right in the middle, maybe that can be the bridge. This is very much an imagination toy. It is what you make of it. Let me take the weaponry off, which there's no dedicated holes for weapons on this figure aside from these here on the side, which is way too bright in the white. I do apologize for that. I'm trying to review this thing in a weird way, so I've got a light over here, and it's putting out a little bit too much light, but it's the only way you can actually see it when I hold it like this. So I'll correct that as much as I can when I get to the next shot. But for now, yeah, this is very much a toy that you kind of have to use your imagination to figure out. And I actually kind of like the overall shape. Yes, it's boxy the way Soundwave really should be in vehicle mode. I kind of like this like pincer thing he's got going on here along the sides. He kind of looks like a flying scarab of some kind. I don't mind it. I mean, we have to keep in mind, we're on Cybertron. They don't have aerodynamics like we have aerodynamics. They don't really have any reason to have wings and tail fins and VTOLs and all that. And they're not going to no. This is just straight up a spaceship that remembers that when you don't have an atmosphere, when you don't have air, you don't really need to worry about wings and things like that. You can just be any shape you want. And we know Soundwave as a boxy alt mode, first and foremost. So it makes sense that his vehicle mode here in space is going to be boxy. That just makes sense. Maybe that's just me, but hey. And maybe I'm just trying to justify it. But I genuinely don't mind this mode. I kind of like this hovership thing it's got going on. I feel like this is something I'd see flying around in a Terminator movie. All right, so all that aside, brilliant shade of blue for Soundwave, traditional. Got that nice gold, accenting the edge of the windows. That white that we discussed before, which the detail's completely getting washed out of. We'll fix that for robot mode. Little bits of detail and paint here that are better served once we get into the robot. Is one of those figures that doesn't really hide what it is, Hey, look. It's the robot mode. It looks like he's spread eagle doing weightlifting squats. But that is what it is. I can't actually show you the underside to let you know that the door still opens and Ravage still goes in. So if you want to drop him out, that is doable. But Ravage is, again, something we'll talk about when we transform it. So yeah, I'm not averse to this alt mode. I will actually defend this alt mode. Hey, I already did. I guess we get it to robot mode, and we will see that maybe a boring alt mode for you is worth it if the robot mode is actually really, really nice. We will remember, the movie designs for Cybertron in Bumblebee were not designed to have a vehicle mode in mind. None of them transformed outside of the Tetra Jets. So they could basically make up whatever they wanted as long as it made the robot mode look accurate to on screen. So they really focused on making the robot modes work first and foremost, and then crafted the vehicle modes around it. So give it a little bit of forgiveness sometimes. So disengage the feet like so. unclip the front section, and that will let you stretch everything out. Unfold like so. Rotate legs. They are quite tight, so give them a nice good twist. Extend all that out. Fold these little tabs in before you close up the leg like so. We'll do it again on that side. Feet have to rotate as well as tilt around to get them into the correct orientation, which I of course I screwed up one. Oh no, I did screw it up, and I screwed it up again. Never mind me. I'm silly. All right, and then yeah, he's just kind of flexing here. So let's unflex him a little bit. Unclip like so. Bring all of this down. Close up the shoulders like that. Rotate. Bring down. Rotate. Bring down. And then we will flip out the hands, which have their own little compartments inside these white sections. Boom. And that is going to put Soundwave into his robot mode. And yeah, did you really expect a very complex transformation? Let's be honest here. Outside of the Cybertron mold, Soundwave is never one to have a complex transformation, especially when he is very G1 centric. He usually folds up into a box. So yeah, unfolding him into a not box never really takes that much time. All right, let me adjust real quick. All right, doing my best here. One way or another, either the blue comes out too dark or the white comes out too bright, so I'm trying to split the difference. My apologies. I'm trying to shoot this in a weird way so I can get all of it done before I leave. It's a little bit rough. But hey, we have Soundwave in the robot mode. We can appreciate the proportions they hit here. We do acknowledge that the Bumblebee movie robot modes had a little bit of a dumpier design than the traditional, thicker at the thighs, which is a little bit more realistic, at least if you're talking about organic creatures. Everything else is, I think, just kind of boxy and puffy in the right ways for the movie designs that it's actually attempting. It's actually a really, really good rendition of Soundwave. Like, no arguments here whatsoever. All right, so we can see a lot more white has been exposed thanks to mostly the thighs being out now. We do get a little bit more of the gunmetal gray in the hands and the hips, in the elbows. A little bit more painted detail, especially in the pelvis region, where we get a little bit of his classic, play, rewind buttons and all that. Though they make no sense on the Cybertronian mode, he's got to have them at some point somewhere. We will zoom in and take a look at the robot mode head. Well, hang on. Take a look at the robot mode head focus. There we go. So, I'm not terribly happy with the head. I can appreciate that it is accurate to the movie, but when you see it in physical form like that, that raised part in the middle just kind of makes him look sad. It kind of makes his eyes look like they're drooping. So, it's like sad Soundwave. And I don't like that look. It's not a good look for Soundwave. It's rather unfortunate, really. So, I don't know. The head sculpt kind of gets on my nerves. I can admit it is accurate, but it is not preferential, unfortunately. So, beyond that, everything else I tend to like the design of. We have, again, the gold trim around the detailing of the elbow, which actually reminds me, I actually forgot a transformation step because it's completely unnecessary. We have that fake thing in the back. How many of you already commented in the comments section before I actually got to this point? Rotate this around. Fold that in. Boom. There's the back. It barely makes a difference. All we've really done is expose these two ports, which we actually do need because now we can go back to that weapon he was carrying before. As you can see, obviously it is his G1 shoulder cannon, but because of the way this toy is designed, he needs quite a bit of extra help in order to actually get it to a correct position. So you can use it traditionally as just like a hand rifle of sorts. It's pretty long for that, like silly long. And then if you have the Ravage core class, you can give him the G1 missile into it, and now it's just like way too long. It's just way, way too long. This is no longer a good look. I don't think it was a good look before, but now it's an even worse look. So let's dispose of that. And then we will flip out this extra long handle, which is going to fit into these pegs, and that is going to give him his traditional shoulder weapon, which looks way, way better. And then if we want to arm him up, he does come with his own extra rifle. Just like so. I think that looks way, way nicer, don't you? All right, so, of course, Ravage integration is absolutely necessary. Core Class Ravage is a toy that really should not be a $10 toy. It is only by necessity, because it's the only way they could actually release him without upping the price on Soundwave. We hit the button on the shoulder, traditional chest pops out, and there is this box of parts that is Bumblebee movie Ravage. He's stuck in there pretty good. Now, the nice thing about this is, well, there's a few nice things about Ravage in this one. One, if you can actually get him out, if everything's nice and smooth, which unfortunately is not. Now, for starters, if you have trouble, you can't just pop open the back and just push him out like so. So you really got to make sure everything in here is like closed up and tight as possible in order to make sure that nothing is going to clash with getting him into Soundwave. Once you've got him tightened up, though, the cool part is, like, no matter what direction you actually put Ravage into the chest and what orientation, it fits, no matter which way you put it in. So either direction, upside down, right side up, there is no correct answer on Ravage because they all work. That's actually a nice little attention to detail. Makes for a very convenient figure, I think. So, articulation-wise, we have a head that does rotate 360 and has a nice range up and down. Shoulders are universal. They move outward as well as forward. It is that weird divided universal shoulder joint where it uses the torso and then a hinge. So the range is there, but it's kind of awkward to use. Bicep rotation works well. The elbows are double jointed, though they are pretty hefty, thick arms, so you don't get a whole lot of extra range out of just having that extra joint. Wrists do not swivel. Had to double check. I hadn't twisted them in a while. Waist rotation works well. I don't like how this huge piece flips up for the waist articulation. That seems like a little bit of a rough spot. It's going to look weird in some poses. Universal hips, those work fine. Thigh swivel works fine. Not full 360 because of the bulk of the thigh, but that's fine. Double jointed knee, so you get some extra range of posing out of that. And then, of course, we have the ankle tilt that can also rock backward. Plenty of articulation in this Soundwave. Oh, and yeah, if you so choose, he does have the lamp mode, by which I mean he can T-pose. And that's pretty much it. But that is going to be your look at Voyager class Soundwave. We do admit the vehicle mode is not the best. It's definitely something that you have to really be into the look of, going into the package. Having it in person is not going to change your perception on how that vehicle mode looks. But if you can get by that, you've got a really solid figure here. You've got the classic G1 Soundwave gimmick, and you've got a really nice representation of how he was in the movie. So that, I think that is worth price of admission, at least for me. Again, because that vehicle mileage may vary, but hey, I like it, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. At least to me. To you? No, you're gonna have to find your own answer. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.